Hi, my name's Sarah. I have been searching around on the internet looking at what all the other Occupy movements are doing, and some of the Occupy movements are really coming up with some good ideas about how we can create some serious change in our country. I'll read you, there's a short speech by the Occupy movement on Wall Street, and I felt that we should hear it here because they would have come here and told us if they could, I'm sure. It says, "It is our duty now to begin to lay the plans and determine the strategy for the winning of a lasting peace and the establishment of American living higher than ever before. Standard of living higher than ever before. We cannot be content, no matter how high that general standard of living may be, if some fraction of our people, whether it be 1/3, 1/5, or 1/10, that is ill-fed, ill-clothed, or ill-housed, and insecure. This republic had its beginning and grew to its present strength under the protection of certain inalienable political rights. Among them, the right of free speech, free press, free worship, trial by jury, freedom from unreasonable searches and seizures. They were our rights to life and liberty. As our nation has grown in size and stature, however, as our industrial economy expanded, these political rights proved inadequate to assure us equality in the pursuit of happiness. We have come to a clear realization of the fact that true individual freedom cannot exist without economic security and independence. Necessitous men are not free. People who are hungry and out of a job are the stuff of which dictatorships are made. In our day, these economic truths have become accepted as self-evident. We have accepted, so to speak, a second Bill of Rights under which a new basis of security and prosperity can be established for all, regardless of station, race, or creed. Among these are a right to a useful and remunerative job in the industries or shops or farms or mines or the nation, the right to earn enough to provide adequate food and clothing and recreation, the right of every farmer to raise and sell his products at a return which will give him and his family a decent living, the right of every businessman, large and small, to trade in an atmosphere of freedom from unfair competition and domination by monopolies at home or abroad, the right of every family to a decent home, the right to adequate medical care and the opportunity to achieve and enjoy good health, the right to adequate protection from the economic fears of old age, sickness, accident, or unemployment, the right to a good education. All of these rights spell security, and after this war is won, we must be prepared to move forward in the implementation of these rights to new goals of human happiness and well-being. America's own rightful place in the world depends in a large part upon how fully these and similar rights have been carried into practice for all citizens. For unless there is security here at home, there cannot be lasting peace in the world." And they have a call to action. Where is this from? This is from Occupy Wall Street. And so we call on people to act. We call for protests to remain active in the cities. Those already there to grow, to organize, to raise consciousness, and for those cities where there are no protests, for protests to organize and disrupt the system. We call for workers not only to strike, but to seize their workplaces collectively and organize them democratically. We call for students and teachers to act together to teach democracy, not merely the teachers to the students, but the students to the teachers, to seize the classrooms and free minds together. We call for the unemployed to volunteer, to learn, to teach, to use what skills they have to support themselves as part of the revolting people as a community. We call for the organization of people's assemblies in every city, every public square, and every township. We call for the seizure and use of abandoned buildings, of abandoned land, of every property seized and abandoned by speculators for the people, for every group that will organize them. We call for a revolution of the mind as well as the body of politics. We need to retake the freedom that has been stolen from the people altogether. If you agree that freedom is the right to communicate, to live, to be, to go, to love, to do what you will without the impositions of others, then you might be one of us. If you agree that a person is entitled to the sweat of their brows, that being talented at management should not entitle others to act like overseers and overlords, that all workers should have the right to engage in decisions democratically, then you might be one of us. If you agree that freedom for some is not the same as freedom for all, that freedom for all is the only true freedom, then you might be one of us. If you agree that power is not right, that life trumps property, then you might be one of us. If you agree that state and corporations are merely two sides of the same oppressive power structure, if you realize how media distorts things to preserve it, how it pits the people against the people to remain in power, then you might be one of us. And then they go into their list of demands. I also wanted to mention that Jonesboro Occupy has a great idea. Jonesboro, Occupy Jonesboro, the 99% Declaration. Whereas the First Amendment to the Constitution provides, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
Yeah.
Be it resolved that we, the 99% of the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union by, for, and of the people, shall elect and convene a National General Assembly beginning on July 4th, 2012 in the city of Philadelphia. It goes on to describe an election of delegates from every congressional assembly, and that we will convene on July 4th, 2012 in Philadelphia.
I'll be running.
And any person can run that is over 18. Says the office of delegate shall be open to all United States citizens who have reached the age of 18. Executive committees elected by local general assemblies from all over the United States shall organize, coordinate, and fund this national election by direct democratic voting.
Yes.
First time in my life. First time.
So I just wanted to put that out there. I think we should all get together, organize. If you have a grievance, then bring it forward. It is important. We need to take down our government, and we have the constitutional right to do it. That is why they put it in the Constitution to be armed, even though we are a peaceful, nonviolent revolution. But that is why they gave people the right to bear arms, because they knew that the people might have to fight for their government, for their country again. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you very much.